Have you ever thought about using eggshells in the garden? Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to use them in the garden, and I'm going to show you a way to get that real calcium boost that you're looking for from the eggshells in the first place. So why would you want to put them in the garden? Well, eggshells are actually packed full of nutrients, are shown to improve soil structure over time, and have shown major benefits to plants. So why do you need calcium? Calcium deficiency plays a role in blossom end rot. Just to put it out there before somebody tries to hang me for it, blossom end rot isn't completely caused by lack of calcium. Sometimes due to inconsistent watering, your plants will start acquiring blossom end rot. So before you go packing a whole bunch of calcium into the soil, go ahead and get a soil test. If you don't want to, start small, work your way up, and possibly adjust your watering schedule so that way, we know that we're not putting too much calcium in the soil, but we're also getting enough water. And you should see improvement by improving those two things at small increments. So are there any other uses for eggshells in the garden? Well, I've got a few. Major one is pest deterrent. Eggshells, throw them in the oven. You can boil them in water. And when you throw them in the oven, you go ahead and just bake them until they get really dry and kind of crispy. And at that point, you can actually just use your hands and crush them up real good. Or even in the boiling water, just go ahead and you can crush them up. What I like to do is I take them and throw them in the blender, blitz the heck out of them, and then you can go ahead and put a perimeter circle around your plant, and that will keep pests from getting, like snails and slugs, from getting to the plants because they are sharp and they don't like crossing them. And the other plus side to doing this is as it rains or so on and so forth, it is going to slowly wash all that nutrients that's in the eggshells down into the soil and really help the soil. And with this method, of course, you're going to want to not do this just before rain because you're essentially just going to wash away all the eggshells, or at least soak them down into the soil, especially if you blitz them in the blender because it turns into a powder and it just amends down. So, check the weather, or as you're planting, just stick a row around it. Call it good. So another use for eggshells is, of course, seed starting, which I did not know. I'm going to be trying it this season with a few different plants. If you know anything about it, let me know in the comments below. But from the gist of what I've read and seen, you just take the eggshell, you put a little dirt inside there, you put a seed in it, and then whenever that starts getting going, you up pot it. All right, so a way to unlock the calcium that is in eggshells and the other nutrients is to make an eggshell tea, which is essentially where you take the eggshells, you put them in a pot of boiling water, you boil them for so long, I'd say probably 15-20 minutes. Most of the nutrients come out. You thin that out to probably about an ounce per gallon or tablespoon per gallon. Then you water your plants with it. And then you can still take the eggshells and throw them into your garden so they can slowly decompose. The cons or downsides to using eggshells in the garden. Well, if you have slightly acidic soil already, if you add more eggshells to them, it can actually raise the acidity in the soil itself. Plus side to that, if you're growing blueberries, you can always just add eggshells to them. So another issue that you could have with them is, of course, salmonella. It's highly unlikely, but it's not unheard of. So that's why you're going to want to always bring your eggshells up to temperature. Even if you're composting them, you're going to want to get them up to where they're about 160, 165 degrees to kill any chances of salmonella. Like I said, small chance, but still a chance. So do what you think is right. And then if you remember there at the beginning of the video, I said something about getting a soil test. Well, the other downside is adding eggshells to the soil may actually put too much calcium into the soil, which could also hinder your plants. So a soil test is definitely a maybe, but if you're going to add them without doing a soil test, I would do small amounts, see how the plants react. So that way, because once you put them in, you can't take them out. So there's always ups and downs when it comes to the garden, but when it comes to eggshells, you're going to want to decide if they are right or wrong for your situation and if you should use them. If you like the content, go ahead and check this video out next. And if you want to see what we're going to be up to in the 2025 growing season, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.